Hello, my nosy neighbors. Here we are. It's time for another story time. I got my drink. I got my snacks. Time for you to go grab yours. I'll wait. I'll wait. Are you back? Are you back? Can't see. Are you back? Hey, are you back? Okay. Oh, just making sure you're back before I started. Okay, I didn't want to leave you out. Okay, my nosy neighbors, I didn't want to leave you out. So today we have a video by Miss Mia Marie. I think that's what it is. Check the description box, okay? Because her TikTok is in there. Make sure you go and follow her. Now, I have not watched this, so let's see. It's called My Lore. So apparently, she almost got her life ruined by a 40-year-old man. I don't even know how old she is. So, like, is there a big gap, or she's 20 and he's 40? She's 35 and he's 40? I don't. Yeah, I think she's 35. I give her 27. Well, let's see what's going on. Okay, let's just get right to it.
Here and explain a little bit of my lore. I know I don't have like the biggest following and all that, but for those who are out there, a lot of people have found me from my weight loss content and they probably see me as like this really motivational, put together person. But there's a lot of backstory to how I got to this point. So I'm going to explain that to y'all. The lore actually starts. I'm going to start it when I made the mistake of falling in love with a 40-year-old man at the tender age of 21.
21. She was 21 when she fell in love with a 40-year-old man. But is that supposed to be lore, like Lure? Or do I not know how to spell? Is it lure? Like this, someone lures you in, or do they lure you in? You know what? Let me. Let's get a Google lure definition, because it's giving lure, Lure, to tempt a person or animal to do something or to go somewhere, especially by offering some form of reward. You know what? I'm not going to judge because I don't know if that's the word that she means. But you know what? Let me see if Lore is a word. I ain't never. Lore, a body of traditions and knowledge on a subject or held by a particular group, typically passed from one person to person by word of mouth. I don't know. Let's listen. But maybe she means lure, Lure. But you know what? I digress, because I'm here to be nosy anyway.
I want to tell that story.
I got
So,
food in my teeth.
when I met him, I was in college. I was a senior and I had my head on so straight. But yeah, I met him and my head completely turned off, turned around, fell upside down, it fell off my neck. My head was off.
Fresh 21, fresh college, dating them older heads. Mm. And she said her head was on straight. Yeah, they get you. They'll get you.
My shoulders. I don't know how much of the story I'm actually going to tell on TikTok in this one video because I can honestly spread it out into a million different videos.
She needs to tell all of
It
it
lasted
because I
for
want to know.
about 3 years of my life.
3 years.
And it really put me in a very fast downward spiral. And I became a terrible version of myself. And I hated myself. And I was unhappy. I was miserable. I was overweight. I was depressed. I was seeking attention from men. I was promiscuous. And I didn't have, I lost my
Ooh.
morals. Y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, I live.
But to be fair, it happens. It happens, especially when you're seeking love and validation in the wrong places. You're definitely probably going to have a season of promiscuity because it's a lack of self worth. And you feel like that's all that you have to offer to somebody. But you have more than that. Just want to put that out there.
Literally fell apart. I literally feel like a phoenix that rose from the ashes because I that relationship brought me to my lowest points ever. That the person that I am now is simply from those ashes. Like I was reborn. But I met him
That'll do it
and
to you.
uh, where do I want to start? I want to start from the very beginning, like the time. I don't want to start from like the catalyst, like the moment that made me want to like change my life around. I'll give you all a gist of the story, and then we can get into the deep parts. Cause I don't
Girl,
know.
just tell
I
me. I
didn't think
want
this
to
through.
know.
But okay, so essentially, I met this guy. He didn't want anything like commitment wise, and for some reason, I thought that me being me,
I
he's
hope
gonna
y'all
fall in
can
love with
hear
me, and
me.
I'm gonna completely change his mindset, and he's gonna say, "I know I never want a relationship before then, but because I met this wonderful young woman."
Okay, first off, lesson learned. Yeah. If someone tells you they don't want a relationship, more than likely that's exactly what they mean. And you are not going to change them. That's one thing that I learned growing up. When a man tells you how they feel about you, that's how they feel about you. On period. Like, if a man tells you that they're not looking for a relationship, they just want to have fun, if that's not what you want, don't hang around. Do not hang around because you're going to get hurt. And you can't blame nobody because you hurt yourself because they told you they only wanted to have fun. So why did you think that you was going to be the one? We've all been there. Let's keep going.
I'm going to I'm going to completely change.
She got ghosts in her ways. I'm scared. We might have to turn this one off. It's giving demonic energy through the screen. Like, what was that poltergeist going on upstairs?
My mindset
I know y'all heard
and
that.
want to be in a relationship with her, want to date to marry her. That's how I felt. I was so crazy. But he didn't want that. And I made the conscious decision to continue seeing him, even though he told me from early on that he didn't want anything serious. So I do take accountability in that aspect because I basically knew what I was signing up for. Kind of. But not really. Because that's the thing. Like I was 21, so I really didn't know what I was signing up for. I just had a lot of ignorance because I'd never been in a situation like that. So I'm like, that's why I also go back to him. It goes back to him because you're almost 40. He was like 35, 36 at this point. So he knew he had been around the block more than a few times. So he already knew how that story went. I didn't know, but I still went with it. So
That was the point. Just because he's older, you know, that's the issue. Younger people will date somebody older and expect them to show them the way, teach them the ropes, be more mature. But here's the funny thing. Older people usually want younger people so that they can use you, manipulate you, train you. And that isn't giving education. Now, will you learn a lesson at the end of it? Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. But they're not with you to teach you, to show you the ropes. And if they are, they're there to teach you what they want, what they need. They want you to be their slave. Okay, I might be exaggerating with the slavery, but yeah, it's usually the reason why an older man or an older woman dates someone younger because they feel that, oh, they're naive. I can manipulate them. I can convince them. I can trick them. But back to her story time.
throughout the whole thing, it was so many different women he was seeing. And then because he was seeing other women, I was like, forget, I'm gonna see other men too. And I had went down this whole mess of like heavily depending on men to validate myself. And I don't know how this happened
Been
because
there,
I
done
was
that.
really, my head was on so straight. I was in college, straight A's, 4.0. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I had so many goals, aspirations, just to turn out to be with a man who didn't want nothing for himself. And he almost 40. And it's so bad because I have so much guidance. Like, this is like real life where you have to experience it for yourself to make that decision to understand life. Because I had so much guidance. Like you would think the way I was acting very motherless and fatherless. And I have both parents. So it's like,
Mm.
what? It didn't make any sense. But okay. So he was up and down, talking to all these different people, seeing other people, whatever, 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 whatever. This lasted for almost 3 years. So then finally towards the end of it, I'm still crazy. I'm still delusional. I went through the points of like, I want to
Three
change
years.
him. Okay, I'm just gonna change myself. Maybe we can meet in the middle. Let's just be friends. Let's be in love. Like every aspect, every variation of me being with him, I tried that and it never worked. But essentially towards the end, at one point, I ended up moving in with him. And we were just like heated conversations. Oh my God, I have to tell y'all the story. Let me know if y'all want to see the story. The day I lost my mind, the night I lost my mind and almost went to jail. Let me know if y'all want to hear that story. But okay, it was
Let's
the
get
time
him
I almost lost my
crashing
mind.
out.
Well, I did lose my mind. Actually, I almost went to jail. And okay, so we was arguing really, really bad one day, and it's like the beginning of last year, arguing really, really bad. And he was talking about like I'm talking about the sex ain't that good. Like I'm talking about the sex ain't that good, and da, 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 da. He was like, every bitch I fuck with is better than you. Er? What? Every bitch you fuck with is what? Is who? That? No. But at that point, like, you know, when somebody say something to you, like, what the fuck can't be true. But it like kind of resonate and sit with you. Like in that moment, I'm like, yeah, this nigga just talking, whatever the fuck. But then afterwards, I'm like, it be truth in everything that somebody says, especially in a heated argument. Like you really getting your real feelings off your chest. Because I was getting my real feelings off my chest. So I'm like, oh yeah, he really feel like
True.
this. So then when I sit and think about it, because I was so nosy, I learned all my lessons in this little relationship. Like I would like you going through the phone, you looking for something, you gonna find it. So I found everything. Like everyone he ever talked to, I seen it. And then myself, I want to know everything. So I'm on Instagram. I'm scrolling through the following. I'm going to find her page. I'm looking at what she looked like. Like I'm going through the message. Like so I'm already knowing like what his actual.
Now, I just he felt about to laugh. I don't think I ever really went through anybody's phone. Now, have I went through their Instagram likes before? Yes, I have. Have I seen stuff that didn't add up online? Yes, I have. Was I right? Yes, I was. But I don't think I've actually went through like someone's phone, actually like looking and searching. That's one thing that I've never done. And I could be lying 1%, and I just don't remember. But to be fair, to my knowledge, I don't ever remember doing that. But she's right. If you seek, you're gonna find. And I think that's why I might not have ever done that. Because even just looking online at someone's Instagram, if you seek, you're gonna find something. And if you want to find something, you'll find a reason to make something something. And I realize if you feel like you gotta do all that, maybe you shouldn't be dealing with that person because you have to learn to be like as secure as possible. And it's not easy. I still fall, flat when it comes to that sometimes, but if you really feel the need to like look through everything, scroll through, read conversations and like be that nosy, yeah, it's probably something going on. And that's your gut and your instinct telling you.
like what his type is. Cause like when you put them all in a line together, like they all look different, but it was like all similar. Like all these girls were skinny, itty bitty, and there was me. And at that point, I didn't realize how big I was. I just thought like, oh, I'm thick. Like I got thighs, hips, butt, titties. Like I think I'm just thick. But now, like being small, I look back like, no, you was just kind of big everywhere. But so I sat with him like, hold on, like mind y'all, we worked together. So like he worked right across from me. So when we was
And they
good, we
work
saw each
together.
other
My
every day.
gosh.
When we weren't good, we saw each other every day. So when we finally like ended, I was like, I have to shit on this nigga. Like, bitch is better than me. So I started thinking to myself, like, what does the baddest bitch look like? Like, who is the baddest bitch? Like, what attributes, what characteristics does she have? And I feel like a bad bitch take care of herself. Like a bad bitch looks good. A bad bitch is confident. She look good naked. Like she's just sexy. She got sex appeal. She's confident in herself. She don't seek validation from nobody. And like she's beautiful naturally. Like Because at that point, I was also battling with the fact like I was heavily into like weaves, lashes, nails, like showing off stuff. I was really into stuff like that. So I'm like, Jamisha, who are you deeper than that? Like beyond all the the get ups, like who are you underneath all that? So that's like the moment that really sat
All
with
the
me. And I was like, I
vanity.
have to reinvent myself. Like, I have to become a better person. Like, I have to take care of myself. And the thing about it is, I started, like, it was never like a weight loss journey for real. It was a self love journey because I was so miserable. Also, alcoholism was a big part of that relationship as well. So I was a
Mm,
heavy drinker. I was not
gain weight
taking
with
care of
liquor.
myself. I was promiscuous. I just like had poor decision making habits, so poor, and it like showed in every aspect of my life. So I was like, I need to change who I am. And I had to change everything. And then weight loss was simply a byproduct of me taking better care of myself. So that's why I really think like if somebody is unhappy with their current state in life, you literally have to transition. You have to give up things that you got used to in order to elevate to the higher, or the not to higher, but the next version of yourself. You have to excuse me, you have to get rid of, or you have to let go of relationships, patterns, behaviors, habits, friends. Not everybody, but certain people don't need to go with you. They don't meet you at the next level that you're at. So it's necessary for you to end those relationships. So yeah, that's how that started. Let me know. I'm gonna dig deeper. This is supposed to be my 1 minute video about 1 minute talking to the phone for a day. But I can go deeper
It's
into this. I
definitely
have so
nine
much to say.
minutes.
There's so many stories because I talked about like the gist of it that there were different women. I can go into different stories. So I don't know. I just like to get on here and tell my business. So y'all let me know if y'all want to hear.
And we like to get on here and listen to your business, okay? And we are letting you know, right, my nosy neighbors. You don't gotta tell us twice. You keep posting.
Part two about how I let a 40-year-old man almost ruin my life. Mm, I've seen so.
Now, there is something that she said that I do want to talk about. And she brought up a good point. When you're not happy with yourself and you're not happy with your life, you literally are the only one that can make that change. Like you can have some positive influences in your life, but ultimately you have to make the decision to make that first initial step. And it does include getting rid of people, places, things, and habits that no longer are good for you. And it's hard, like sometimes it can be very hard. But I'm glad that she saw that and I'm glad that she tried. And when I looked at her page earlier, her page did have like a weight loss journey on it. So the story makes sense to what I saw when I went to, look for part two. By the way, there is a part two, and we are going to get into that. But self-love is important, y'all. I went through that struggle myself. I love myself way more than I did, and nobody's perfect. So there's definitely going to be days when you don't feel your best, but just know you are the best. Okay? Don't let nobody tell you differently. You the best. You the best. Okay? Just ask DJ Khaled. And let's go and get into this part two, which looks like it was uploaded 23 hours ago. So this is a fresh story time, okay? Fresh story time. If I remember, I'll see, do my best to check back for part three. But let's see, because so far part one is whack. Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. It's whack. Like, where's the juice? What's happening? Okay, we talked to somebody. He was 40. He didn't want to be with you. He was messing with other people. You started messing with other people. Where's the juice? I got the juice in my cup. I need the juice in the story. Let's just keep it moving. Part two. Let's see.
I'm back
Oops.
to continue telling y'all the story, explaining my lore and how I almost let a 40-year-old man ruin my life at the tender age of 21. Well, actually, he kind of did ruin my life.
I need to look into this word lore. And maybe I don't know how to use it and she's using the right word. Because I'm thinking like he lured you in. But let me look one more time. What does lore mean? Because a body of tradition, knowledge, on a subject. I don't understand how to use it. I need a sentence. Oh, in slang, I guess I had to go to slang, y'all. In slang, lore refers to background information or a person's hidden story. There we go. LORE. Okay, background information or person's hidden story, often presented in a hyperbolic or dramatic way as if everyone has their own unique story. Got it. I just learned something. I just learned something. I just, I just, oh, but real quick, I did love how she stated that the better, like loving yourself and the self love journey aids in you wanting to be better and to do better, and naturally wanting to be better and do better and taking care of yourself will just change your life on its own. When you start getting healthy habits, you become a healthy person in general. So I do love that she, let us know that and brought that up because it is 100% true. And I love how she let us know that like she wasn't really on a journey for weight loss. She just so happened to lose the weight by taking care of herself, loving herself, and treating herself right. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because mental health, physical health, and emotional health is very, very important. Now, let's get back to part two.
3 years, but I didn't actually conceptualize the fact that he was ruining my life. I thought everything was good, but it wasn't. So to start off, so I told y'all in the last part how we met. And well, I didn't say how we met. We met in person. We met at work, and I expressed interest in him. First of all, he looked much younger than what he actually was. Like I thought he was like 20 something, mid 20s. He had like a baby face, and he was skinny. I don't know. He just didn't like look old. Come to find out, he was like 36 at the time. So he told me to run down like he don't want nothing serious. He don't want a relationship. And I was like, I'm gonna change that. What are you talking about? We're gonna be together. So we end up talking, and it progressed really, really fast. Like the duration of us talking, like the immediate part of it happened so quickly. A lot of dates. Like we were dating a lot. And so I thought so. I thought he liked me because we went on so many dates. Like he would take me out to so many different places. And I was like,
Love
man.
bombing.
So this was like March. This was like March, and then he wanted to. He was from out of state, so he wanted to fly me to California with him to go stay with his parents and like hang out with his dad for his birthday, his dad's birthday. Like he proposed that idea to me, like, do you want to go to California with me, my family? And I was like, is he for real? Mind you, I'm 21. I've never traveled with a man. I've never traveled without my parents. So for a guy to be like, mind you, a 36-year-old, I'm 21. For him to be like, let's go to California. I'm like, what? I'm nervous. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna tell my parents. Like, oh my god, what they gonna think? Am I gonna do it? Am I not gonna do it? I was like, F it, I'm gonna do it. So I went to California, stayed at his parents' house, met his mom and dad, y'all. This was the first month of us like talking. So I'm like, oh, this must be something serious. Like, you done had me to come all across the country to meet your parents, for me to like be in their house living with them. I'm like, this must mean something. It didn't mean nothing. But that first
Look, I ain't even going to falter because I would have thought it meant something too. Now that I've learned about love bombing and things, well, years ago I've learned, but I definitely probably would have thought in my younger years that that person was very interested in me as well, especially for going on a lot of dates and then you want me to meet your parents. Like I've learned that a lot of people feel that meeting someone's parents it means that you're in, but then I also learned some of these people's parents they know exactly how their child is, and they know exactly what their child does, and they know exactly that you're not the only one. So I learned it's more than just going to meet the parents. Because some people, they won't take you around to meet the parents because they're not ready yet, but they actually are very into you. Some people, they don't care. Their parents probably met everybody. And I mean just that, everybody. Lisa on Saturday and Janessa on Sunday at church with him and the family. Okay, let me tell you.
interaction really like set the tone in my head for me to think like, oh, this is something. Like he said one thing. This is where it started. He said one thing, but I think I can convince him otherwise because his actions and his words clearly aren't lining up. Fast forward a little bit. So that was the first month of us talking. Went on a lot of dates, and we kept going on a lot of dates. Um, and that's what I liked about him because he was older, so he like showed me things I was not accustomed to. Like I was a good girl. I was
The
not into
trickery.
none of the nightlife, partying, drinking. I wasn't into any of that. So he exposed me to all of that. And I was like, okay, this is different. And I'm like thinking like it's fun. And it was fun at the time, but it was just a lot to get used to so quickly. But we started seeing each other intimately. And then I remember, y'all, I used to go through phones really, really bad. And I'll be the first to tell y'all, don't go through that phone if you don't want to find nothing. So I used to go through that phone and I would see him like talking to other people and flirting with other people. One person in particular, the very first person I saw him like flirting with was one of our coworkers. So I'm like, you a whole dirty trifling bitch. You in here, not her, him. You in here flirting with coworkers. Like I know we ain't nothing serious or like we got no title on what we doing, but like you ain't gonna have enough decency to like not do this to somebody who's like she
They
wasn't
don't
right in my
care.
face, like right in my face. Like
They do not
so
care.
as time goes on, I find about different women and then at one point he what happened? I think he broke his phone. So I ended up lending him one of my phones and my phone was connected to my iCloud. So I don't know how it worked out. But his messages would come to my computer. So like I could see any conversation he was having. So my crazy ass is on my MacBook one night and I'm like reading through the text. He out with his friends or something. I'm reading through the text. And he inviting some lady to come meet up with his friend him and his friends wherever they were at. I'm like, oh no, can't be. Mind y'all, I'm cool with his friends at this point. So like I got one of his friends' numbers. So I'm texting his friend like no, mind you, I didn't even text the friend first. I levitated out of the bed and levitated into my car and started speeding because I think he must have
Crashing
said where
out.
he was gonna meet her at, or maybe I had his location. No, I don't think I had his location. He must have said where he was gonna meet her at, or where he wanted her to meet him at. And I had the other friend number, so I'm texting the other friend like, "Oh, what y'all on? Like, where y'all at?" This friend telling me all the business, like, "We here," and he texts me along the way like, "Oh, now we going here." I'm like, "Oh, I like you, thank you." I see this text
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the location. I'm seeing him texting this woman. So I'm heated. My blood is boiling. So I'm like,
Not the
he
friend
doing all
setting
this
his friend up
and he entertaining
unintentionally.
women. And mind you, I'm
Or
just
maybe it
being
was on
crazy
purpose.
because like he told me what kind of like man he was, how he operated, and I thought I was gonna change him. But it's the fact that like we were still talking and you doing this. I don't know. I was really conflicted. So I ended up speeding over there. The girl wasn't there. I can't remember what happened, but ended up I think I went over there by him like a dummy. I don't know. But after that, fast forward a little bit, after a certain point, our dates, like we would still go out to dinner and go new places and stuff. But then he wanted to pursue this music career. He wanted to pursue a music career and he was almost 40. And I said, you know what? I'm going to support you in this music career. So he would invite me to the studio with him. And it was very interesting because I've never been to a studio. I'd never like been around people rapping and they drinking, they smoking. And so it's just a whole different environment. And I had never been around nothing like that. So I'm just the first few times.
And this is like the second time that she's brought up the fact that like she wasn't used to that type of life and these things were new for her. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly one of the reasons why it was easier for her to stay and not really pay attention to the red flags because her being so young, she felt like she was being introduced to a new life or a life that she never knew existed or the next stage in her life as a 21 plus person. You know, you got this 30 something year old take you to the club, buy you drinks, going to the studio with you, introducing you to drugs and alcohol. And at that age, that can seem fun. You know, I'm not about to sit here and lie. You know, don't be going crazy like with the liquor and the drugs. I don't know what stuff they had going on or the guy had going on, but I'm just saying, like, as a 21-year old, 21, 25-year-old meeting someone older and they're showing you things that like you didn't even really know were out there and maybe paying for you to go in the club, paying for all these days. Like she said, they went out a lot and she loved that. A, it's called grooming. What'd you say, girl? Grooming. Let me say it one more time. Grooming. You can be groomed at any age. Okay?
So overwhelmed and overstimulating. So I'm like, I'm back to continue telling y'all the story, explaining my lore and how I almost let a 40-year-old man ruin my life at the tender age of 21.
Oh, the video is starting over. Was that the end? Did we miss something? The club was the last thing.
At a certain,
Let's go back and just make
I
sure
fast forward a
because
little
it
bit.
just
At
ended
a certain
very
point, our date,
randomly.
like a dummy. I don't know. But after that, fast forward a little bit. At a certain point, our dates, like we would still go out to dinner and go new places and stuff. But he wanted to pursue this music career. He wanted to pursue a music career, and he was almost 40. And I said, you know what? I'm going to support you in this music career. So he would invite me to the studio with him. And it was very interesting because I've never been to a studio. I'd never like been around people rapping and they drinking, they smoking. And so it's just a whole different environment. And I had never been around nothing like that. So I'm just the first few times I'm so overwhelmed, overstimulating. So I'm like, I'm back to
Okay, well, that's the end of part two. She was overstimulated and overwhelmed. Let's see if there's a part three. I'm pretty sure there's not one right now. I'm pretty sure, but we'll double check real quick before we cut this one close. Let's see. What I say her name was? Me, I, Marie. Oh, child. I don't know how to spell her name. Check my favorites. Let's see. Let's see. You would think I know how to work the TikTok. Okay, y'all. I don't think there's a part three yet, but yes, there's no part three yet. What was this? What's this? Nope. Let's see if we can show y'all her weight loss journey. Is this it? How do I? Okay. She said she was a little thick before. We're proud of her regardless. Here we go. Oh, it's a slideshow? I don't know how it works, y'all. There you go. Well, that's not giving what we thought. Regardless, though, we're proud that she lost the weight, right? Are you tired of being overweight? Here we go. Y'all go ahead. Follow her, support her channel. She has some lifestyle stuff about how she's doing better, eating better, the changes that she made. So y'all go ahead, follow her. Okay. It's another story time for another day. But the moral of that story at this immediate moment, I would just say is take accountability for yourself, learn from your mistakes. It took her about 3 years, I believe that she said, but I'm glad that at least she realized what was going on with her, that she maybe was lacking some self-esteem, self-love, and things like that. And she learned to do better for herself and recognize that that was something that she was struggling with. And look at her, she's better than she was before. And I don't even mean look wise, I just mean like in general, she's doing much better. She's more confident, she's happy, she's lost weight, so she sees that she can make the change. Her mindset is different, and sometimes all it takes is for you to take that step. One step, you never know how far it's going to take you. But remember, if you don't try, you're never going to make it anywhere without even taking step one. So once again, my nosy little neighbors. Yay. Stay tuned so we can see what the next story time is going to be about. Okay. And I'll keep posted. I'll keep y'all posted. See if I can find a part 3. Like I said, part 2 was posted like 23 hours ago, so it seems to be pretty new. I don't know if there's going to be a part 3. I would hope that there's a part 3 because, respectfully, that story time was basic. I just got to be honest, it was basic, and it could have been better. I need more. A lot more. I want to know more because she said that it ruined her life, right? Well, how? I'm still trying to figure out, like, from what she said, just going to the club, drinking, arguing here and there. He was flirting at work. How did it ruin your life, though? Because it seems like it made your life better. I need to know what happened in between the time that made you feel like your life was ruined. So I'm waiting for that. And I hope we get that because other than that, I don't feel like we really learned anything. Like, we learned things, but story time could have been better, period. And that's all that I can say. But Miss, what you say her name was? Miss Lady on TikTok, because I don't want to mess your name up. I'm proud of you, regardless. I'm glad that you learned. I'm glad that you're doing better for yourself. And I'm happy for you and your weight loss journey. And I hope you do nothing but continue being an awesome and amazing person with being accountable for yourself and learning from your mistakes. It's beautiful, the growth that I've seen just in your story and scrolling on your page. So keep it up. Now, as far as you, my little nosy neighbors, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, because we gotta find something else to be nosy about. We gotta find something else to be nosy about. All right, check it. Catch y'all later, my nosy neighbors.